Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Sulk stream. I hope you guys had a wonderful day and stayed nice and calm and chill and, you know, did your best to carry on and carry forward. I hope you guys are good. How's everyone doing tonight? Well, I'm just going to go ahead and assume that. Yeah. Thanks for coming. It is another lovely, I believe it is a Wednesday night. It's Wednesday night, yeah. So we're in the middle of the week, and we're trudging along. That's the best we can do. Just kind of inching towards World War III, and that's fun. That's fun for all of us. That's another thing we have to look forward to, or, you know, maybe there's going to be good times after it, right? Another world war can't last forever. I think. Who knows? They got some pretty fancy technology these days, and you know, if they can make a war last forever, I bet it'd be quite profitable. I bet it would be quite profitable. And the incentives would be there. The incentives would be there to continue that forward. But we're not talking about anything like that tonight. Tonight, we are talking about the most dangerous drug known to men, which is crazy women. Crazy women have a unique lure on men, and I have to say I am personally a sucker for them. And don't deny that you are also. You are as well. Please. There's some sort of biological imperative. There's some sort of deep instinctual drive that men have to get with that. I don't know. The sex is really good. Yeah. I think that might be it. You know, I'm probably looking too deep into that. That might just be it. Anyways, thanks for watching the Sulk stream. I'll see you guys later. That's all I needed. So let's get out of here. All right. I'm kidding. We have a lot more things to say, a lot more inflammatory ideas and opinions that I wish to air, and I'm glad to have a little discussion with you guys tonight. All right? We'll see what we hit on. We'll see what we find. I'm sure it'll be great. So again, thank you so much for coming to the Sulk stream. I am the Incredible Sulk. Get comfy. Get cozy. Get a nice bottle of whatever you happen to be enjoying these days, you know. If you're a gin man, drink your gin. If you're a rum guy, drink your rum, right? I feel like your alcohol choice says a lot about you as a person. Now, I'm not a common drinker these days, although I have been known to tip a few. My past is a different story, but these days, not so much. But when I do go out drinking, I enjoy me gin. I like a nice fine gin. And, yeah, I think that speaks volumes about me. And yours does too, whether you drink vodka or tequila or whiskey or something like that. You can really evaluate a man on what he drinks, right? And women shouldn't drink at all, unless I force them to. Anyways, get a bottle of whatever you like, right? If you're working, thank you for having me in your ear. It's a real honor. Again, do not keep me out on loudspeaker because it has got people fired before. So be wary of that. If you are driving, please continue to drive safely. It is very important to me that you arrive home safely. I have to maintain the safety of my cult. That's just my job. Until, the big one. The big old rat poison party / orgy where we all get naked and jump in a pile and then drink a bunch of suspicious liquids. Yeah. That's how it's going to end. It's gonna... I gotta schedule it on an eclipse or some sort of comet or something like that. I don't know. It will be on an auspicious event. Anyways, I guess we're ready. Thank you so much for coming. I'm the Incredible Sulk. This is the Sulk Stream. And this is called the psychology of toxic relationships. Enjoy.
Have you ever wondered why you remain trapped in a relationship that hurts you?
Ah, fuck. It's a good start.
Have you ever wondered why you remain trapped in a
Christian,
relationship
Matt,
that hurts
Ardenshire,
you? You know
Obedient,
you are unhappy,
despite,
that this
what's up,
relationship drains your energy.
Hello, boys. Who has been in a toxic relationship before? I mean... Is it mostly women that are toxic? Will women consider all relationships that have ended to be toxic? Right? Because women have this thing against accepting accountability. And so they're all like, well, he was just abusive and he was a narcissist. Yeah, it just keeps happening. Over and over again. He's just an abusive narcissist and an alcoholic or whatever. Yeah. Yes, it keeps happening. That's bad luck. It's definitely not my fault as the woman. There's no way it could possibly be my fault. Ever. Not once, right? He was a perfectly good guy while we were dating, but then I decided to cheat on him, and then he left me, and now he's a narcissist. They don't know what that word means. I swear 99% of women, even like the psychology majors, don't even know what a narcissist is. But they use it anyway because it sounds bad. It sounds bad and it makes them sound innocent. But we know that's not the case, women. When you say that to other women know that's not the case. But they'll back you up anyway because eventually one day they're going to use it too. And when you say it to men, we know that shit is not true. But we don't care. We don't care. Right? We let you speak your things and stuff like that because a lot of times we're trying to get in your pants too. I mean, men are very simple creatures. So we have our own, incentives and stuff that we're trying to pursue. So we'll gas you up too and be like, oh, you poor girl. Oh, you're a survivor. Yeah, this is me stroking her hair. You're a survivor. Wow, you're so strong. Wow. A lot of men, right? The white knighty men will definitely do that. I'll laugh at a bitch's face. I'll be like, you fucked up another one, didn't you? But I'm married, so I don't give a shit.
That the other person will never change, and yet you stay.
Despite says this is the only toxic relationship I've ever been in. The cult. Yes, I give you little crumbs of love and stuff like that, little love bombs every once in a while, but then I take them away, and they're sporadic too, right? It's not like you give me love, I give you love in return. It's like you give me love, I might decide to give you love in return, maybe, or I might hit you. For no reason, I might hit you, right? And you'll be like, what did I do wrong? I must have done something wrong. This is a me problem. And that's exactly how I tangle you in my web. So, yeah, you guys are in it. This is an abusive relationship, and I am the abuser.
You have tried to leave.
Duh.
You have promised that this time would be different, but something always pulls you back.
Christian says, my dumb wife is happily married. Not me and it's just my dumb wife.
Why? What makes
Nice, based, honestly, fucking masculine as shit.
even the suffering not enough to make you leave? The answer is not in the other.
Matt says, my right hand doesn't ruin my life, but that left hand, she's a whore. Right? You get to spit on her because she takes that, right? This is the hand you take home to mom. And right, this is the one you take to church and stuff like that. This is your nasty little slut, the stranger, right? That comes in over at 2 a.m. and knocks on the door. Yep, I get it.
The person. It's not because they manipulated you so well that you lost the ability to make decisions.
Matt says, I can screw a sock full of lotion and it doesn't ruin my life. Wow, dude, you got a lot of issues and like very MacGyver-esque methods of masturbation. You got to thrill yourself somehow, though. I mean, I'm kind of impressed by the ingenuity, but I'm also like saddened and disgusted. But impressed. Don't get me wrong. Impressed.
It's not because you love them so much.
It's innovative. It's innovative, right? And if you could put a lotion-filled sock on some sort of wet dry vac or something like that, and then you tape your phone to it and then put so it has like Chat GPT, and then it can talk dirty to you and even go around, and it's like a girlfriend. It's pretty damn close. It's pretty, only it doesn't like ask you for things, and it'll start sucking whenever you want. There's literally a switch on it.
That you can't leave.
We might be onto something, guys. We got to make money somehow in the cult, right? I thought we were going to do some sort of Ponzi scheme. Selling like, I don't know, essential oils or some sort of weird berry juice that makes you live forever. But robot sex vacuums could work. I don't know. We're pitching. We're brainstorming here.
It's not because things were good once and might be good again. The truth is...
Christian says mostly saddened, though. And background noise says a little slappy socky, which is a great name. Patented. Copyright Sloppy Socky. The old Sulk cult Sloppy Socky.
But the problem lies in what this relationship has awakened in you. In what it has reinforced.
Sock children are weird.
In what it has activated. Toxic relationships are not
bunch of rags.
Just
That's
about
fair.
fights, lies, and manipulation. They are about unconscious patterns. About old wounds that never healed.
You got to break open those. Okay, so when a woman has a psychological wound, you pick at the scab. Yeah, pick at it, right? Constantly. Not constantly. Sometimes you have to leave it alone and go off and go fishing or go get drunk or something. But when you come back, you're like, hi, how you doing? I hope you're good. It's nice seeing you. I'm just start picking at it a little bit, just to irritate it. And every once in a while, really yank at it, right? To open it up, make sure there's some fresh blood. See, this is how you kind of traumatize somebody over a long period of time. That's how I got Jess to marry me.
About the fear of being alone, about the need for validation,
right,
about
honey?
the vicious cycle
I don't know if she's watching. Oh, shit, I forgot to let her out of her box. She's fine. Whatever, she's fine.
And hope.
Right? She's been in that crate all day, but I'm sure she's fine.
You are not trapped
crate training
by the person. You are trapped by what this relationship makes you feel. And that's exactly why ending it is not enough. You might even manage to distance yourself physically, but something inside you keeps coming back. Reminding you of the good moments, justifying the bad ones. Wondering if you should try one more time.
Yes. Excellent. Yes. Because you always be like, no, baby, I'm going to change. This is about the psychology of crazy women, but I feel like it's very much just kind of my like old John's handbook about how to emotionally scar someone. So that's how it goes. I mean, you know, but there are crazy ones. Again, I do like the crazy ones. They're more erratic and stuff like that. And the desperation makes them, oh my God, it's just so good. It's so good. And then you can tell them to do stuff. They'll do anything. Like, if you're good at this, you can get them to do anything. It's crazy, dude.
Because the problem has never been just the relationship. The problem is the psychological bond that was created. A bond so powerful that it alters your perception, making you accept things you once swore you would never tolerate. But enough is enough. This video...
Obedience says, I've been trying to untrain mine from bugophobia for years to no avail. She's fine with mice and snakes, though. You know what? The term... You're using the word bugophobia, which probably reminds her of homophobia. And, like, she probably associates that with being okay, right? It's okay to be homophobic. But you shouldn't be that way towards bugs. They did nothing wrong.
Is not meant to...
Use a different term, right? Why are you so bug-averse? Bug-averse, right? Because, again, when somebody says a phobia and stuff, I automatically think, oh, you're transphobic, you're homophobic, and which is fine, which is like a positive thing. It is here. It is in the entire world. Let's be honest. Come on. There's a reason why there's so much, people get so upset about it because it's fucking awesome. But it's not cool being mean towards bugs. They didn't do anything. They're just bugs. They were born like that.
Make you feel guilty.
And yeah, being gay is a choice. Being gay is a choice. You make a choice to put your dick in a man's ass. Or let a man put a dick in your ass. That is a choice. Typically. I'm not saying there's not situations where it happens against your will. And I'm not saying that at all, right? But if you have a recurring pattern of behavior where dick falls into your ass quite often, I would say that's a choice. But if you're a bug, man. You can't do anything about that.
It's not to say that you
can't choose not to be a bug. You're just a bug. Don't hurt the bugs, man. They're fine. They're important. Some of them can be pests, yeah, like locusts and stuff. But some of them are nice. You got ladybugs. You got some positive bugs like, those daddy long legs. They eat mosquitoes. Or mosquito eaters or whatever. Those are good bugs. There's lots of good bugs. There's a number of bad bugs. I'm just saying you shouldn't judge every bug just because they're a bug. Now, homosexuals, they are all bad and they are all naturally evil. We agree with this. It's clearly stated in the Bible that homosexuals are naturally evil. This is a fact. Look up any serial killer you want. He was gay. Yep. Go ahead. Check me. Check me on that. Look it up.
Weak or lack willpower. On the contrary, this video is to help you understand what is really happening.
It's okay to be Christian says, I dated a girl who liked the movie Tank Girl once myself, John. It was definitely toxic. And she turned into your fat wife. Is that what you're trying to say? She turned into your wife, your fat, dumb wife. I don't think that about your wife. I think your wife is a lovely person, right? I'm just saying the way you describe her as fat and dumb, which I understand why you're doing that, because you're trying to take her down a peg, which kudos, kudos. But are you saying you married the Tank Girl? The girl who likes the movie Tank Girl. You're saying that, right? Because you are also in a toxic relationship. You cannot tell me you're not in a toxic relationship. Because she definitely is.
To give you clarity. Because when you understand, you regain control. And it is only with control that you can truly leave. So pay attention. If any part of you feels trapped,
Christian says she is not fat. I don't think she's fat or dumb, right? I'm just saying what you're saying. You said that.
unable to leave even though you know you should, this video is for you.
Yeah. And if any of you try to leave me, you're going to regret it. You're going to regret it. I know where your family lives, right? I'm just, you ain't never going to leave me, bitch.
In the end, you will understand exactly why this cycle repeats itself. And more importantly, you will know how to break it. Let's get started.
We're going to skip over that part.
Why do some people seem to repeatedly fall into toxic relationships?
Obedience says all girls have such wild abandonment issues. Yeah, a lot of them do. Like a good amount of them do. Which I don't understand. But I don't understand women in general because I make sure I don't. I want to keep my mental peace, So I make sure to misunderstand my wife as much as possible. I don't want to go down that road. I don't want to go down because it seems dark and spooky, right? It's that road where there's a fork on the road, right? And one way is well lit and there's birds chirping. And then the other side, it's all like there's like a wolf howl and there's, tree branches. And it's for some reason night on that side. How? I don't know. What I'm saying is I'm not going down that road. All right. I don't need to understand them. I don't need to do that. It would be bad for our family as a unit.
While others manage to walk away without looking back. The answer lies in how we learn to love. Love is not something that simply happens. It is shaped, built, conditioned. And to understand why you feel so attached to someone who hurts you, we need to talk about something essential. Attachment. From the moment we are born.
It's because that dick or that sniz is real good, right? I'm going to, I'm doing this from the male point of view, and we do have female listeners, right? And I'm sure they're going to chime in. I will love to hear what Thought has to say about this. And I'm sure she's going to pop in here at any moment. Because she seems like she's in a lot of toxic relationships. And it is her fault. It is. I have met Thought in person. I have seen her face to face. And I've had conversations with her. She's nice. She is nice. But no, it's 100% her fault.
We seek connection. In our early years of life, our brains are programmed to associate safety and well-being with how we receive affection. If we grow up in an environment where love and care are always available in a healthy way...
No, not Charlie Horse. Thought. Critical Thought. She also has a show. If you guys don't follow Critical Thought, go follow her channel.
Learn that relationships are safe and trustworthy. But if affection comes mixed with coldness, rejection, inconsistency, or even abuse, our minds...
What is abuse? Come on. What is abuse? At what point has a girl broken up or gotten over, left a relationship and not claimed abuse? When? At what divorce court hearing has the woman not claimed abuse? Tell me. Give me a single example. You can't. You just can't. That is impossible. And you don't even have to describe the abuse or anything. And people will be like, oh, I understand you don't want to talk about it. Because it's nothing. It's nothing. You ask her about it and she's like, this one time he kind of was like, well, I asked for this special cheesecake. And he brought me chocolate cheesecake instead of strawberry cheesecake. And so I stabbed him. Because that's abusive.
Learn something else.
Pretty much. I mean, that might be a little hyperbolic, but like just a little. A little bit.
that love is unstable, unpredictable, something we have to fight to deserve.
Pamonkey says her show is very good. She reads some interesting books. He's talking about thought, critical thought. And again, I don't have a link or anything like that, but go find her on Rumble and follow her. We got to look out for other creators. I hope any other creators out there do the same for me.
And there lies the problem. If you grew up in an environment where...
Despite says she got a great rack too. I was going to say they're fake.
love and pain went hand in hand, your mind internalized this dynamic. This means that when you meet someone who treats you well...
Pat is Cool says if her dog eats a bee, that's abuse on his part. Yes, yeah. It can be argued. It can be argued that he maliciously let her dog eat a bee while it was out going potty in the yard. And it's terrible. It's terrible. Yes.
All the time, it may seem boring, artificial, even false.
Monkey says I'd still like to see him. Okay, when she shows up, you can ask her. How about that?
But when you encounter someone who gives you affection in controlled doses,
I don't,
who one day...
I can't, I know I'm a cult leader and it is technically a sex cult. I don't like, I don't have that kind of sway. I haven't tried to have that sway. I don't know. I guess I can put it in a good word. I'll ask her. I'll ask her for you. I'll be like, hey, can you send Pamonkey nudes? And she might say yes. She might say yes.
Makes you feel loved and the next ignores you. Your brain recognizes
I don't know.
this pattern. It associates this cycle of uncertainty with what it learned to call love. This is the danger.
Despite what you've heard, says, I think too well of her to ask. Okay, I'll ask her for you too. She'll spam email everybody. No problem. No problem, guys. I got you covered. All right. And it's not about a sexual thing. It's simply curiosity. I will ask, not me, right? Because I don't need to, but like the rest of you, I will have her, I'll have her contact you, and then I'll tell her.
Of the emotional trap.
I wonder if she's going to be mad at me.
You are not just in love with the person.
I kind of hope she is. Because, like, okay.
You are attached to what they represent for you. They awaken something old within you.
Obedience is it, Yaz says, the magic 8-ball would say the odds are in your favor. It would say definitely yes.
A familiar
Probably.
feeling.
If it says the odds are in your favor, you got to shake it a couple more times. A lot like thought. It's just like thought.
An unconscious desire to prove that
you just shake her until it's a definitely yes. Like that. It'll work. It works with all women. You just got to do it aggressively.
This time, you will be enough. That this time, love will win. That this time...
Oh, he's going to change. I can change him. That's good. You should let her think that. But she cannot.
Rejection will turn into acceptance. And this leads us to one of the biggest reasons why it is so difficult to leave a toxic relationship. The fear of loss.
And this is why none of you will ever leave the cult. Never. Because I will send a platoon of armed thugs to the airstrip, and then it'll be international news and stuff. And then we're all going to have to drink the rat poison. We're all going to have to drink the Kool-Aid. It's all white knight. This is me over the louds. White knight, everybody. White knight. That's what I'm going to start saying. That's what I'm going to start saying. And you know what that means? That means it's over. That means it was a good party while it lasted, but it's white night, guys. It's white night time. Everyone get naked and jump in the pile. Wait, no, you have to drink the poison first, then get naked and jump in the pile. Why? Why a pile? Why can't you just go off and be alone for a little bit in your last moments on this earth? Because it's my cult. And I want a big pile of naked people. Just stacked high, like way high, you know? Cause that's how I envisioned it. This is my vision. Okay? You guys can start your own cult. I mean, you can't because you're part of mine, but like just do what I say.
When your attachment has been built on uncertainty, the idea of losing that person becomes unbearable. Not because you can't live without them, but because you feel you need to resolve this story.
Watch, you guys are all going to drink the Kool-Aid and stuff like that, and then eventually you're going to get in the pile and be hugging each other goodbye naked. And you're going to be like, I love you. Oh, it's we're going to be in paradise forever and stuff like that. And after you guys are all dead, I'm going to take the Kool-Aid and I'll be like, nah. Nah. Just walk away. And just walk away. Maybe I'll start another cult, or maybe I'll just be like, whatever, I'll just go do something else now. Just walk away from a pile of dead bodies.
That you need to prove you can make it work.
Just nah.
That you need, in some way, to convince this person to give you what you have always wanted. But here's the truth. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. This relationship is not
You need to prove your loyalty to me. This is, yes, this is compulsory. This is imperative for you to gain ranks in the upper echelons of the cult. And yes, there are ranks, right? There's the lowly ranks, the peons, the pawns. And then there's the higher, like, generals and stuff. I have people overlooking and handling a lot of the day-to-day operations of the cult. And there'll also be like a soldier class too that administrates, the poison and stuff, and like makes you get naked.
a test of your ability to be loved.
So, if you want an honored position, everyone gets a job. Everyone gets a job, right? But like, do you want to be like a farmhand, or do you want to be like, I don't know, something a little bit higher? Somebody who like runs the harem. Maybe not that, because you're going to be a eunuch. Yeah, there's going to be eunuchs. Yeah. So, yeah. I don't know about that one, but they are very important. They are a needed class, and so it will be an honored position. And if you don't care about your nuts, then like, that's a good gig. It comes with a lot of perks. A lot of perks. Just no erections ever. Again. Ever. But a lot of perks. A lot of them.
The problem is not with you, and the solution is not with the other person either. The first step to getting out of this trap is to see what is happening. And this brings us...
You're getting abused and toxic relationshipified, right? It's like a cult. It's like a cult, only it's tinier. It is a two-person cult where you are the cultee, the cultist, and he's the culter. I don't know the exact terminology, but that you get what I'm saying, right? It's like we are in a relationship, and I command a lot of respect and admiration out of you guys, and I return none of that. I do from time to time, though. From time to time, I gotta, little pats on the back, little bird feeds, little promotions from time to time, too, right? Hey, you over there, Christian, now you're in charge of Despite. And I'll do it just like that. And then Christian will be like, oh, I get the whip. And he'll start just wailing on Despite, right? Just wailing on him. And, yeah. But that could change at any moment. It really could. It could change, maybe Despite one day, he does good. He makes like a very good soup or something. And then it turns right around. It turns right around. Hey, hon, look. See? Pop, pop. Right here. You see my cursor? This. It's It's a little arrow on.
I didn't see. I didn't.
Love you.
To the next point. If emotional attachment creates this trap, what exactly keeps you stuck in it? There is a psychological mechanism that acts like an addiction and makes the suffering within this relationship seem in some way rewarding. This mechanism is called intermittent reinforcement, and understanding how it works may be the key to breaking this cycle. If this content is making sense to you,
This bite says, I'd be willing to wager I'm the best cook in here. Well, that is actually a valued skill. So, you know, honestly, we would have use for cooks. There will be use for cooks, especially if there's like so many people. It's not going to be small. It's not going to be like a small congregation. It's going to be pretty large.
click the subscribe button and subscribe.
And a lot of you are getting in on the ground floor. So a lot of you have been here for a while too. Like Obedient, he's an OG, dude. He's been here for a while.
To the channel. Thank you for your support.
The intermittent reinforcement cycle. So this is re-traumatizing somebody over and over again. Yeah.
Have you ever noticed that no matter how painful this relationship is, there are moments when everything
Pat of School says I can only cook Filipino, so probably. Like Frozen, you can only, like, you mean Filipinos? Or like, because we don't eat people. We don't eat people. No, that's weird.
seems perfect. Those rare instances when the other person is exactly who you wanted them to be, when it feels like everything is finally going to change. You cling to those moments, reliving every detail, convincing yourself that this is the true essence of the relationship, and that the rest are just obstacles that can be overcome.
And you know what? Women actually like this. They like a challenge, right? They like to be able to change a man. They like to be able to fix a man, right? I know you've seen it. I know you've seen it. Like women with a guy who's objectively a good-looking guy, right? But he's like a heroin addict and he doesn't have a job and stuff. That's a challenge for them. They can fix him. They can't. But like they like the idea that they can. So that is what it is. You can use that to your advantage.
But this is not love. This is addiction. And what keeps this addiction alive is a power.
Look at that. We got a dono. Hold on, I have to log into my PayPal.
Powerful psychological phenomenon called intermittent reinforcement. The concept comes from B.F. Skinner's studies on behavior and conditioning.
Okay, we got here's the bell. I'll use the bell. When I get your things on PayPal, I get your actual name. So I'm just going to go ahead and say PT gave $10. And did he write something? He didn't write anything. It's through Ko-Fi. It's through my Ko-Fi. Maybe I wrote something on Ko-Fi. Let's see if I can.
In experiments with animals, Skinner discovered that the most effective way to keep someone hooked on a habit was to reward them unpredictably. Instead of giving food every time a rat pressed.
Is that it? Was it holographic? For the show? $10 for the show? Holographic? Thank you so much, holographic. I appreciate it.
The lever, scientists began to give food, only occasionally, without a defined pattern. The result? The rats became obsessed. They pressed the lever repeatedly.
Pat is cool says I can fly drones. Someone has to survey the compound. That's a very good one. Yeah, it was holographic. Thank you, bro. Appreciate that.
Desperate for the next reward, unable to stop. Now replace the rats with human beings and the lever with your relationship. It works the same way.
Rats, yes. Rats.
If the other person were cruel all the time, leaving would be easy. But they give you small, random doses of affection, making you keep trying, always hoping for the next emotional reward. And the most...
Monkey says, me too. I'm a great shot. Okay. Well, yeah, we will need people wielding firearms. And so this will be common training, by the way. You will have to do a range day once a month just to keep sharp. But there will also be an exclusive, my elite force that will have to train basically constantly. And it'll be like SEAL Team 6. And I'll send you out and because we're going to need to get new members. And a lot of that is pillaging and kidnapping people. So you're going to be trained in kidnapping people. I don't know another word for it. We can make something up. Recruitment. You're going to go out on recruitment. Make sure to burn their village down. No survivors.
The most perverse thing about this mechanism is
survivors.
it trains you to accept less and less.
Despite says, well, I was an Eagle Scout. What does that get me? God, that makes so much sense. That makes so much. Because you're a fucking park ranger now, and you were an Eagle Scout. That makes so much fucking sense. I can make you a patch. You'll get a Sulk cult patch, which is actually pretty cool. That's pretty sweet. I honestly might look into making patches, right? Like legit patches I'll sell, and I'll try to sell them for a very reasonable price, just so a lot of people have them, because that sounds pretty fucking sweet.
In the beginning, you might have demanded respect.
Obedient Tia says, hey, Eagle Scout bros. What the fuck? That's cool. Again, Obedient, I'm not that surprised. I'm not that surprised at all. That's pretty cool. A-Dub says Sulk Sock, which is a better name. That's a better name.
Reciprocity, commitment. But after so many ups and downs, your standard changes.
Like Sulcom? Sulcom? Yeah.
You start to accept crumbs because deep down...
We'll work on it. For our recruitment. For the people that recruit people, which is kidnapping people and burning down villages.
You just want to relive those good moments. You convince yourself that if you try hard enough, if you are patient, if you change something about yourself...
Pat is Cool says, despite will lead John's incredible youth program. Oh my God. Wow. Yeah. I mean, we're going to need to have one, I guess. I mean, there's a lot of people that are probably going to be born into the cult, and there's going to need to be some sort of propaganda wing. You want me to call it something else? That's exactly what it's going to be. That I'm not going to beat around the bush. It's going to be the propaganda wing, and then we're going to have a Sulkler's Youth type of deal, and yeah. It'll be great. Adorable. It really will. A bunch of little black shirts walking around saying awful things.
The other person will finally return to who they were at the beginning. But that is the trap. This relationship was never about love. It was about control. The toxic
Monkey says Johnler Youth. Yeah.
person, consciously or unconsciously, understood that keeping you trapped doesn't require constant
background noise says I was Weebelows, which I was never a scout, so I think that's like the low scouts. I can be your Officer Doofy. What movie is Officer Doofy? What movie is that? Is that like one of the scary movies? Is that what it's from?
But rather the right dosage of warm.
Sulk Seeds sounds a little bit weird. I like where you're going with that, despite that.
And coldness. Enough to keep you trying. And
Scary
that's why
movie
leaving
one.
hurts
Okay.
so much. Because it's not just the end of the relationship. It's the end of hope. The end.
A-Dub says, don't mean to brag, but may have done some light war crimes in Iraq in another life. Now I do training and build firearms. Well, that's good because we are definitely going to be doing some war crimes. The Geneva Convention is going to be non-existent. And yeah, we're going to need somebody adept at torture. Not for everybody, I'm not going to be torturing everybody daily. I'm going to be torturing people who try to leave. people who try to report on the cult, people who bother me when I'm hungry or I'm sleepy. Yep.
End of the possibility that everything
I will rule with an iron fist. I'm just saying. Generalissimo Sulk.
change one day. And accepting that is painful, but necessary. Because as long as you keep playing this game, your identity will dissolve.
Big B Trucker says, is there a biological cleanup / removal job in the cult? I mean, I guess you can wipe down the loads after orgies and stuff. You want to volunteer for that? Be my guest, dude. I mean, if you want to volunteer for that, I guess. Yeah, it's all yours.
You will lose sight of what you deserve.
Yeah, it's Big B. He's our load guy.
You will start to doubt yourself. You will be
He just wipes down the loads. Or you're trying to like disposing of bodies. You know, it's gonna be, you're gonna be a man of many hats. You'll get rid of bodies and you'll also wipe down the loads. Janitorial technician / body goon.
slowly conditioned
This is my corpse goon. Big B Trucker's my corpse goon.
to accept less, to expect less, to be less. And the
He says
worst
he likes
part
mopping.
is that often
Jizz
the
mopper.
other person
Yeah, lots of names, right? Seaman engineer, which sounds a lot more technical. It sounds like you went to college and stuff, but you didn't. You just use a mop and you wipe, wipe, right? But also you get rid of bodies as quickly and cleanly as possible. I don't even know why you would do that, right? Who's going to come and investigate? No one. No one.
still
No
makes
one
you
will come.
believe that the fault is yours, that you are exaggerating.
Big B says, I do like Corpse Goon. Corpse Goon is good, right? My Corpse Goon. And then Big B comes in. And I'm like, you know what to do. And then he just starts removing people. Bodies. Not people. They're not people after you kill them. They're just bodies. They're just meat. And you drag off and you throw into a furnace or some sort of swamp full of gators. And, yeah. Or jizz mopping.
that none of this is really happening. And if
A-Dubs seaman engineer sounds like an IVF specialist. Yeah, well, that could also be a job in the cult, right? People will need to be inseminated. However it gets done,
you have
however
ever
it
found
gets done.
yourself questioning
I only have so many pumps in me. God. Oh my God. I'm like the vanilla stuff at Starbucks. There's only so many pumps. I can only give you so many
your
pumps.
own sanity, feeling that maybe it's all in your head, then you need to understand the next concept: gaslighting, projection, and emotional manipulation.
Perfect. These are all good. I need like a scribe. Does anybody want to be the scribe?
The psychological weapons that destroy your perception of reality. If you've ever found yourself asking, am I exaggerating? Am I the problem? Maybe I'm going crazy. Then you've already felt the effects.
It's already been effective. It has already been effective. I want you constantly questioning your sanity. There are going to be people that don't come back psychologically, because I will be dosing people with acid pretty regularly. And you won't know if you get an acid day or not an acid day. And, maybe your acid day will be really light and it'll be fun and stuff like that. Or maybe your acid day will be extremely heavy, like 5 super hits of acid, and then I peel your eyes open and make you watch gore porn. It depends on how I'm feeling that day. And, what the corpse goon is doing. If he's really busy, then,
Of psychological manipulation.
you know.
And among all forms
I'll
of
be like, we're short staffed today. We can't do the gore porn. So So it's a fun day, everybody. Everyone takes one hit of acid and we go play in the daisies today. Okay? We'll see how I feel tomorrow.
Manipulation. Few are as devastating.
That sounds lovely. Right? Everyone takes a hit of acid, just a single drop, right? Just to brighten the day, right? And then we all play in a field, a green, beautiful field like Windows XP. And then we have fun. And then that's life for us. That's life. And then we go have a big feast at the end of the day. It sounds great. Those will be the good days. But trust me, there will be bad days. There will be bad days. It can't be all sunshine and love. There's got to be balance.
As gaslighting. Gaslighting is when someone distorts reality to the point of making you doubt your own feelings, memories, and even your sanity.
Yeah, I gaslight Jess every day. Every single day. No, I'm just kidding. I don't. I do genuinely disagree with her interpretation of events, though. It's not gaslighting per se. She's just, she just forgets where she puts the remote and stuff. And it is in the fridge. Not that I did that. She did that. But then assumes I'm gaslighting her and accuses me. Right? You're gaslighting me. I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And it's genuine. I'm being honest.
It is an extremely effective control technique.
It's crazy. When women get pregnant, their brains are mush, dude. They're just mush. And it's so funny, dude, because they'll believe anything. You can gaslight them. You can, but they'll do it to themselves. They'll do it to themselves because they can't think. Their blood is not in their head. It's all in the belly, right? It's on the uterus. And so, it's making baby and stuff. So yeah, she has just very little idea of what's going on. And I don't let her drive. I don't let her drive when she's pregnant. When she's pregnant, I do not let her drive as much as possible because that does scare me.
Because it puts you in a constant state of doubt, making it harder to recognize the abuse and even harder to escape from it. Here's how it works. You notice something wrong in the relationship, perhaps a strange behavior, a contradiction, a lie, and confront the other person.
Their dreams will
but
gaslight them.
Instead of taking
Pat, do you have kids? Sounds like you have kids.
responsibility, they flip the situation. They accuse.
Despite says, if you aren't gaslighting your wife, do you really love her? Yeah, of course I do. I just don't need to. If I needed to gaslight her, it would be easy. I could do it. It would be no challenge. And I would honestly have fun doing it. It's just I got a lot of irons in the fire. I'm a real busy kind of guy. And if I wasn't so busy, I would be gaslighting her a lot more. But she is taking care of that job all herself. Right? It keeps her busy, and it's honestly entertaining. It is. It is entertaining. Sometimes I'll unplug things, right? Like the Wi-Fi or the dishwasher or something like that, just to see why she's confused. Why is this? It's not working. It's not working. I don't know. Wash them by hand, I guess. Just wash them by hand, I guess. And then I'll plug it back in the middle of the night, and she'll be like, I don't get it. Why is it working now? Anyways, bye, honey. I'm going to work.
You of exaggeration, paranoia, of creating problems where none exist. Phrases like,
Obedience says it's wrong to Jedi mind trick women because it's easy. No, it's not.
you always misunderstand everything. Wow, you're so sensitive.
Okay, I have said that. I've literally said that sentence. I might do it. I might just do it subconsciously. Being a cult leader, it's not something I aspired to do. I just kind of fell into it. And so it makes sense that I, on a day-to-day basis, gaslight and manipulate people. It makes sense. I have a knack for it.
That never happened. You're imagining things. Start to
You're imagining things.
become common. Over
I have said that too.
time.
But that was true. That was true, right? She was imagining things, right? A lot of them were dreams too. And she knew they were dreams. That was a dream you had. It was a dream you had. You knew that was a dream you had. Why do you think that? This is reality that I also live in. And for some reason, your dream life and our reality are clashing. You are literally imagining things and then bringing it out here. Bringing it out here for us all to sit in it. I'm not saying I don't do the same thing, right? Because I do.
Conversations in your head. Try to remember details. Seek evidence to validate your feelings. But with each new confrontation, the distortion of reality intensifies. What once seemed obvious now feels uncertain. And the more you doubt your own perception, the more dependent you become on the other person to define what is real and what is not.
Good. Because I want, look, just for for what is best for my family, I want my wife to rely on my interpretation of reality. This is extremely important to me. It is best for all of us if you left reality up to me. And I think this goes for the cult too. My idea of reality is factual reality. This is a tenet. This is part of the Dead Sulk scrolls. Okay, this is important. It shall be, written in stone, chiseled and shit. All that brought down from the mount. Reality is mine. I get to choose what is real and what is not real, okay? This is very important. It's not going to work otherwise. My call. I'm doing this for the best of all of us. Please believe me when it's for the betterment of all of us that I say what is reality and what is not reality. It is so important.
Lighting is just one of the tools used in toxic relationships. Another powerful weapon is projection. Here, the person transfers their own flaws and behaviors onto you. If they lie, they accuse you of being dishonest. If they're unfaithful, they accuse you of cheating.
So they're accusing you of stuff that they do. Okay.
They're aggressive. They say you are the one provoking them.
But again, hold on, because this can get in a real cyclical argument, right? If you're having an argument with your wife and you're like, why are you being so aggressive? And then she's like, I'm not being aggressive. You're being aggressive and telling me I'm aggressive. And then you're like, no, you're clearly being aggressive here. And then it gets into some stupid bullshit about like how I'm gaslighting her, but she is not gaslighting me because she really thinks that, right? So it's like, see, this is dangerous. This is why reality is up to me, for me to decide reality. It is so important. I am not even fucking kidding.
And the cruelest
I am
part
not
of it all
even kidding.
is that often the victim begins to believe these accusations, taking on guilt that isn't theirs.
You should feel guilty. You should feel guilty because then I'll prove it to you, right? I'll prove it to you. And I'll forge evidence. I will make videos with AI showing you doing things that you have not done, right? I'll play dirty. I'll play dirty. I'll do it.
And carrying an emotional burden they should
I'll be like, see, you don't remember this because you were blackout drunk. Yeah, you don't remember getting blackout drunk? Yeah, you were pretty drunk.
never have to bear. The goal of these manipulations is not just to deflect responsibility.
Big B says, I reject all reality. I just want to mop floors. You're just going to have blinders. You're going to have horse blinders on you, right? It's just like this. And I'm just going to point you towards loads on the floor. And then, of course, dead bodies. And then you're just, intuitively, you're going to start cleaning them up. It's some weird kind of, like a weird autism, like Hodor from Game of Thrones, right? You just have it's just, there's nothing else to your personality. It's just, I clean loads. I jizz mop. That's what I do. I jizz mop. I cut up bodies. You have a chainsaw. Then blood spatter. But it doesn't faze you because you don't have that part of your brain. We actually had to extract it through surgery, which I'm sure I'm going to have a cult surgeon, not licensed in any way.
Put you in a state of confusion
Not
and emotional
licensed in any
exhaustion.
way.
Because
She's going to open up your skull while you're wide awake, right? And then you're going to start pulling out bits.
when you are emotionally drained,
Yeah, I think this is the right one. Just tosses it off to the side. And then I have Big B come in and clean it up.
becomes easier to control you. When your self-esteem is shattered, you accept any crumbs of affection.
Big B says, I'll bring my Husqvarna. Perfect. Good. We might want to go electric. If we're cutting up bodies, we might want to go electric. Because, like, gas, it's powerful, but it's loud and it's noisy and it's kind of dirty. Electric, if you're just cutting up limbs and stuff like that, that's going to be fine. You can just get a nice little electric chainsaw, battery powered, and it'll do the job. It'll do the job just fine. And there's no way it's not going to be powerful enough. I mean, it cuts tree limbs off.
As a reward, when your perception of reality has been
But bring the Husky. Bring the Husky for, we'll figure it out. We're going to need one for something.
altered, you stop trusting yourself.
The
and start
Sawzall. The
trusting the
Sawzall
other
could work.
person blindly.
Right, the Sawzall could work, yeah.
And this leads us to an even deeper question. Why do you continue to accept all of this? If it is already so clear that this relationship is destroying you, why?
It's not destroying you. It is your reason for living. Being in the cult is your reason, right? Big B doesn't even have most of his brain. I pulled out a lot of it through some kind of dark surgical operation, but he has no chance of surviving on the outside, right? He is completely institutionalized. He is the cult. He is in essence the cult. He was probably our best member because I did a lot of testing and tried to take out as much brain as possible while still making him able to operate day-to-day functions, pooping by himself, feeding himself, that kind of thing. But I'm just trying to take out the part where he thinks critically about things.
Is the fear of leaving still so great? The answer lies in one of the most powerful factors that keeps a person trapped in a toxic relationship. The fear of loneliness and the illusion that love can change someone. Have you ever found yourself thinking, but what if I never find another person? Or, what if no one else loves me?
And I'm going to be hammering that into your brain on a daily basis. I'm going to be hammering that into your brain. I'm going to be like, I love you guys. I'm the only one that will ever love you. And without me, you'll never experience love again. Now let's all hug. And we get in a big cuddle puddle and we all hug. All right. We do that every day. Morning, and then we do it again at night. Right. It's part of the entire thing. You will have zero downtime, by the way. You will have the morning meeting where we do our prayers and, our meditations and stuff like that. And then our evening meeting, and then very similar. And then in the middle of the day, you will be laboring, constantly laboring. If you are a woman, you will be pregnant or laboring, giving birth to a child. If you're a man, you're going to be working the fields or cleaning up bodies or burning villages or doing surgeries. Everyone's going to be busy. It's going to be utopian though. It's going to be sweet. It's going to be sweet.
Have you ever caught yourself
It's gonna
believing
be sweet.
that if you just try a little harder, have a bit more
Big B says hugs fucking rule. Yeah, that's right. We left the hug part in your brain. You're welcome.
Patience, or change something about yourself. Maybe this relationship
Obedience says love bomb brainwashing 24/7. I mean, pretty much. Love bombing will definitely be a part of it. Love bombing will absolutely be a part of it. Because any cult you've ever seen, it's always love bombing. They find the people who are just lost in their lives, right? Like a college student that was like fresh out of college, has no real ties to anything. And, you know, she kind of floats around. I say she because a lot of times women fall for this like super easy. And then you say, hey, I have these tiger cubs that you can pet and take care of. Do you want to join? And, you know, I'll give you a place to live and food to eat and stuff like that. And you get to play with kitties all day, you know? And then she'll be like, yeah, yes, of course. And that's how you get them. That's how you start. That's how you get started. Right? We'll go up to Gainesville. That is prime area to pick out cult members. It really is. Like, you see that Tiger King shit? They go to Gainesville or like bus stops and stuff, and they pick them up. It's so easy. It's like it's so easy.
will finally work. If so, then you have been a victim of one of the biggest factors that keep people trapped in toxic relationships. The fear.
Yeah, Dr. Sulkenstein. Knobs, Pat is cool said Jonkenstein, but Sulkenstein is definitely better. I'll give that. But thank you for both trying. Sulkenstein is the way to go.
Of loneliness and the illusion of
I
change.
don't want to be a Stein, though.
The fear of loneliness
Dr. Sulk is fine. Call me Dr. Sulk. You know, we got rid of this Stein over at Ellis Island when we came through.
is not irrational. It has deep roots in our psyche. Since childhood, we are taught that being alone is a bad thing, something to be avoided at all costs. Society reinforces this all the time. Movies, songs, social media, everything tells us that being loved.
Knobzak says, I'm going mountain biking on Negro Independence Day. What the hell is that? Negro Independence Day. Oh, is that Juneteenth? There's no way that's an actual holiday. Is that a holiday? Is that like a federal holiday? I'm not taking that off.
Loved is our ultimate goal.
I will work on Juneteenth. Whatever that happens to be. I don't know what it is.
As if being single is a failure.
Pamunky says Juneteenth.
As if not having
That's so
someone
dumb.
is proof that something is wrong with you.
Knobsdog says dumb bullshit. It's a bank holiday I get paid for. What? That's so stupid. No one ever. Is there any? Do people go? Oh, you want to come to my Juneteenth party? Your what? Do they send out cards? Do they make cards? Do they make Juneteenth cards? I have to look that up.
Now, combine that fear with a relationship that has destroyed your self-esteem. A relationship where you were conditioned to believe that no one else would understand you.
Oh my God, they
that
do.
no one else would accept you the way this person does.
Oh my God, they do. Oh God, we have to look through them. What is this? It's Kwanzaa themed. Black, honor, respect, truth. Oh, it's a history. Okay, peace, diversity, brave. Okay. Okay. All right. That's super dumb. Juneteenth, every card, a story, every play, our glory. Wow. Oh, is this like Cards Against Humanity only with black people? Cards that aren't humanity? I don't. Juneteenth cultural trivia. Explore black history and achievements with an engaging card game for the family gatherings and shared learning. Dad ain't showing up, huh? Okay. Okie dokie. Juneteenth. Okay, chains. This is good. Chains. Love, hope, freedom. Missing hands. I guess this is from like Africa, where they like step on landmines and stuff. And then just a blank Juneteenth card. And that I would get that and just send it out. I would get this card and just send it to people. And then they'd be confused. They'd be like, what the hell is this? Why did John send us this? I don't know. He's weird. He's like autistic or something. And they would think about that too. It only got 3 stars. It's got 3 stars. It's got 5 stars and then 1 star. Half of the reviews are 1-star reviews. So it's only got 2 ratings. Not very popular. It's not a very popular holiday. It is not a very popular holiday. Nobody wants Juneteenth stuff. Oh my God, it's so cheap too. I guess it's better than... No one's buying it, dude. No one's going to fucking buy it. That's why. Because it's like, no one's going to... 1 rating, 5 stars. Yeah, no one buys it. No one buys this garbage. Because why? No one celebrates Juneteenth. I don't even know what Juneteenth is. Is it something about slavery? Is it pro-slavery or is it against slavery? That might sound like a dumb question, but I swear I don't know. Because, like, without slavery, black people wouldn't be in America. And that is, if you're a black person and you're born in America, lucky you, dude. I mean, you lucked out good. So I would be thanking slavery every day of my life. I'd be, on Juneteenth, I would dress up in chains and fucking burlap clothing and go and pick cotton and shit like that. Because I am so glad I don't live in fucking Ethiopia. Right? I'd be picking cotton and singing spirituals and thanking the white man for fucking bringing me over on a boat. Just so the rest of the year I can go on a Carnival cruise line and ruin it for everybody else. Thank you for slavery. That's what I would do. But I'm not black, so...
That no one else would love you like this.
Knobstock says, thanks nigging. Jesus, dude. That's really funny.
The result? You convince yourself that leaving...
Obedience says, Santa Claus. Santa Claus. Hey, Mama, is Santa Claus coming this Juneteenth? Fuck no. What do you think we're getting? Fuck no, Santa Claus ain't coming. Smoking a Newport. Where do you think we're getting money for that? Huh? Well, the government. Like the rest of the money. Right? Like the rest of the money?
Would be a mistake. That it would...
Thank you, Santa Claus. And then the day they wake up and the kids run down to go to the... I don't know. The June... It's not a tree, is it? It's a stockade. Let's just say that it's a stockade. They run down to the Juneteenth stockade to look under the stockade to see their presents. And nope, nothing there. No. And then, Mama's like, oh, they got stolen by white Santa. By the white devil Santa. He grabbed them and took them up the chimney.
It would be better to endure what is bad than to risk
the chimney
being alone. But what if I told you that what you are feeling...
The only reason I like Juneteenth is because of all the jokes that are going to come with it, dude. There's so many jokes about Juneteenth. Nothing else good about Juneteenth. No one gives a shit about Juneteenth. I'm going to go to fucking Target and stuff and see all these Juneteenth ads and stuff. And I'm going to take pictures with them with the fucking banana face black model. And that's it, dude. That's it. I'm going to watch all their clothes go on sale the day after, and no one's going to buy them anyway.
Is not fear of loneliness.
I'm going to get the cheapest dashiki I can and just wear it around with a little fucking hat. Right? And say my people a lot.
That what you are actually feeling is emotional withdrawal. Toxic relationships create a state of dependency similar to addiction. You are not just...
Obedience says, leave out some chicken and Kool-Aid for Santa. Knobsdog says, y'all killing me. Didn't do muffins. He took a bite out of the Dindu muffin, right? And there's a sip out of this King Cobra. Just, you guys are terrible, man.
Attached to the person.
You guys are bad.
You are trapped by hope.
We're talking about how to run this cult properly, and then we just got onto this whole Juneteenth conversation. I feel like this is a better... What else do we leave out for Santa Claus? Santa Claus. I don't know. Stuff. Yeah. In the middle of the night, you hear gunshots on your ceiling.
You remember the person they were at the beginning. Those
so
moments when everything seemed perfect. And you believe that if you just hold on a little longer, that version of them will return. You rationalize the bad moments, justifying them as temporary phases. You cling to empty promises.
Monkey says a house party DVD. You're going to leave out a house party DVD. Okay. A house party. A DVD specifically, right? For a stolen TV, right? Santa Claus stole my PlayStation. Damn it! Damn it! Damn it!
To sweet words spoken at the right moments and ignore the reality of their actions. This
Big B Trucker says a pack of Newports and a court summons. A fucking paternity test.
is not love. This is the illusion.
God damn you,
change.
Santa.
The problem is that real change does not happen because you want it to. It doesn't happen because you love enough. It doesn't happen because you have sacrificed yourself to the point of having nothing left. True change only happens when the person recognizes...
Hold on, I gotta look more. I gotta see more Juneteenth stuff, dude. Because there's just no fucking way, dude. All right.
Over the next 3 minutes, I'm going to walk you step by step through how I created my Juneteenth greeting card. So, as always, we start out with designing in Cricut Design Space.
Okay.
And we send everything to the mat.
All right, I don't care about that. I'm sorry. I don't. Okay. Look at what? Okay. Your hands. They're white. Why? They're not covered with tattoos, so I don't know if I don't think she's like a mud shark, right? Because they're just fucking bunch of hand tats and stuff like that. And then kids screaming in the background. That was it, huh? That was it. That was the whole Juneteenth experience. Hold on. Juneteenth. I want to see celebration, because I want to find like a Christmas cartoon for Juneteenth. Okay, great. Fighting in the park. Okay, let's see this.
For her daughter. Power. 10 of the first 12 presidents enslaved people.
Well, I mean, jeez, dude. What a stupid fucking holiday. This guy's got a dashiki.
Tell us a little bit about how you feel about Juneteenth before we get into this.
Ugh.
I think it's wonderful that we're acknowledging Juneteenth as a national holiday. It allows people to embrace the culture of liberation.
Okay.
It enables other people who didn't know about Juneteenth to learn more about it. And I think overall it pushes the notion that we are free. We should be...
I still don't know anything about it. Is it when they got free from being slaves? Is that what Juneteenth is? I imagine that is.
Exercising rights, and it's the rights of all people.
Tell us a little bit about...
Okay, yeah. Maybe I'll do a Juneteenth show.
Recognizes the problem.
Maybe I'll
and
do
has
a
a genuine
Juneteenth
desire
show.
to transform. And let's be honest, how many times has this person promised to
Oh, Santa Claus is here in his Impala, right? It's got bags.
change? How many times have you heard excuses? How many times have you believed that this time would be different? If nothing changes, it's because this relationship was never meant to change. And accepting that hurts.
Obedient, and this is like, okay, he says black people got so confused by fractions they thought 3/5 was one Juneteenth. Okay, God,
It hurts because it means giving up hope. It hurts because it means facing the emptiness left by something that consumed so much of your life.
Knobs Dog says we heard Santa Claus exclaim on Crystal and Destiny, on Desiree and Precious, Cinnamon and Ivy and Yolanda. You know Santa Claus came because your mama got a black eye.
It hurts because it means admitting that you invested time, energy, and love in something that
Mama got that Juneteenth money, right? She had to work for it, right? She was hoeing on the street and she got that Juneteenth. She's not going to use it for you guys. She's going to buy crack. And you won't be seeing Mama on Juneteenth.
never had a future.
So,
But this pain is temporary. The pain of continuing, that is eternal. But leaving a toxic relationship is not...
Knobsdog says it's basically commemorating the dumbest of slaves who didn't know they were already free like 4 months earlier in Texas. Really? What? It's commemorating the... So, hold on. Slavery was abolished, right? And then there was a bunch of black people still in Texas slaving away because they hadn't heard about it? Is that really what happened? Is it like... You got to be fucking kidding me. Well, if you were a slave master, would you give the news and be like, oh, by the way, you guys are all free now? I wouldn't. I'd be like, you guys, good work, but keep picking cotton for free. Or else I will hobble you. Nobody hobbled slaves. I mean, some people probably did. But, like, it wasn't a thing you did. Like, you ever watch, like, Roots or any of these black movies or something like that where they're just beating the shit out of their slaves? Just, torturing them. And I'm like, they're not going to be they're not going to be able to work at all. Right? They're just beating you don't do that. If you want to, like, get them to work, you can't break their legs. This seems pretty obvious to me that you can't break someone's legs and expect them to get up and go and fucking pick cotton. That's just what it seems like to me. You know, it doesn't seem, but whatever.
Just about deciding to walk away. If it were that simple.
Knob says June 19th marks Juneteenth, a holiday that commemorates the emancipation of enslaved people in the United States. It became a federal holiday in 2021. Ugh. When then President Joe Biden signed the Juneteenth. Oh, God. God, dude, the 2020s suck. The 2020s has just sucked, right? We get COVID, and then we get Juneteenth. That's terrible. Juneteenth, right? I would have taken COVID again.
You would have done it already.
Just 2 COVIDs. Give me 2 COVIDs.
You need to break the emotional bond, reprogram your mind, and
Obedience says, fun fact, Cotton Eye Joe is about a runaway slave escaping on the Underground Railroad. Okay, let's listen to Cotton Eye Joe. Sure. Because that's a banger. Cotton Eye Joe is a banger. Just so we all know. So we're in the spirit of Juneteenth, which is tomorrow. It's tomorrow. Where did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you come from, Cotton Eye Joe? No black people. No black people in the video. Where did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you come from, a big old dip. A big old dip. I like that. Oh, this is like a house music. Yeah. Okay, so this is okay. So did they tar and feather him? So like the slave escaped, and the slave I assume was Cotton Eye Joe, and he shows up, and they're like, "Where did you come from? You should go." And then they tarred and feathered him. I get the story. I get the story arc here. Navzok says, hey, John, how many sleeves, I assume slaves, do you think Harriet Tubman actually helped free? I guarantee you, if you ask ChatGPT, it would be like, well, there's not a lot of evidence, blah, blah, blah. It's assumed it was like 1.5 million. It was probably zero. It's probably 0 or 1. It was one of those, right? But I'm sure they're going to say something like over 300,000 slaves. No, I don't believe any of that. Probably no evidence for or against it. Despite what you've heard says 12. 12. Holy shit. 12 people. 12 slaves. That's it. And everyone worships Harriet Tubman like she actually did. This is another thing. Rosa Parks didn't do shit. Rosa Parks was just lazy. She didn't want to get up. It wasn't about like her free. She wasn't making a fucking stance or anything like that. This is how black people act on buses. They just go crazy sometimes. It's not. But this one, they decided to, immortalize for some reason. It's all fucking stupid, and it's so tiring. But not this banger. Navzok says, I was astounded. I thought it was a few hundred at least. If it was a few hundred, I'd be like, okay, that's kind of impressive. But like 12, and I'm sure they were all related to her, right? It was her and her 11 kids. That's probably what it was. It was her and her 11 kids. And she didn't really even do anything. I bet if we actually went back in time and saw the history, it would be a lot more pedestrian than they're making it out to be. I'm sure it was just. I'm sure it was nothing. I guarantee you it was just nothing. Nothing brave or anything. But what do I know? I don't. I wasn't there, so. Maybe she fought off Alien and Predator as she carried all these slave babies over the northern border, and she had like an M60 machine gun. Why don't we just jazz it up like that? If we're gonna make up shit, why not make it actually interesting? Like she fought aliens and shit. Can we? I want my Juneteenth card to depict Harriet Tubman fighting aliens and like saving. With splitting the... They probably didn't cross water. They don't have that ability. But they don't have that ability. They're deathly afraid of it. It's a banger. Oh, I want to learn to play the banjo really badly. It looks like a fun instrument. No sex allowed. All right. Despite says the girl who Rosa Parks replaced was underage and pregnant, but replaced because of who impregnated her. Ooh, that sounds like a spicy story. I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't know about that at all. Hold on. Go to picture. Sorry. What am I doing? I can screenshot. Okay, all right. That's enough Cotton Eye Joe. We don't need that much Cotton Eye Joe. But happy Juneteenth, everybody.
Rebuild your identity. And that is exactly what we will talk
Obedient, now that I've thoroughly derailed John, I have no idea what's going on.
about next.
Do I help Daywave? Am I a positive influence on Daywave, or do I just completely derail the show constantly? Because I feel like I do. I feel like we always go off on weird tangents, and I feel a lot of the time it's mainly my fault. Should I apologize for that? Or, because I'm not gonna, or should I continue to do that and completely derail the show? Not necessarily on purpose. I don't know. I feel like that sometimes. I feel like I'm like, am I making this show less coherent?
How to break
Probably.
the cycle
Probably.
and start the process
That would be my
of
guess.
emotional detoxification.
That's just Daywave.
Have you
That's
ever
just Daywave.
noticed that
Yeah.
even knowing that this relationship is destroying you,
Big B Trucker says it's a fun, always go full ADD. Yeah. I feel like this show is very much that direction too.
something
I mean, we just did 20 minutes on Juneteenth, so.
inside you still
But
hesitates?
now I'm done with Juneteenth. And then the first hour was about how we properly run a cult. And then I was giving out jobs and stuff like that. So a lot of you have jobs. We got the jizz mopper. We have the surgeon. I don't know who the surgeon is. We'll figure it out. Did Thought ever show up? Or did she hear what I was talking and planning about her and decide not to pop into the chat?
When the pain becomes unbearable,
Probably.
there's still that voice saying, what if I'm making a mistake? Or, what if I never feel something like this again? This happens because leaving a toxic relationship is not just a rational decision. It's not enough to understand that this relationship is harmful to you. You need to reprogram the way your brain
Knob's dog says, my face hurts from laughing so hard. Your show is really good, John. Thank you, Knob. I
associates
appreciate that.
love.
I appreciate that. I need my ego stroked every once in a while. It's what I live for. I feed off of it. If you can't donate, I understand. Times be tough, but at least tell me nice things about myself. Say I'm handsome. Say I'm funny and that you like my show, and that should be enough. I mean, a like, throw a like on there too. Hit the like button. I'd appreciate that.
Validation and even your own
I'm a simple man. I just need my ego stroked amongst things,
identity.
other things,
You need to go through a true process of
that was a dick joke.
emotional detoxification. Yes, detoxification, because this relationship functioned like a drug.
Despite says Knob's dog is a notorious liar. I do know that. I do know that. That's fine. Lie to me though. I don't care. Because on some level I know. But I don't care. Just lie to me. I lie to myself every morning. I look myself in the mirror and I'm all like, you're worthwhile, John. You can do it. I know that's not true.
Every
Come
little
on.
dose of affection was a reinforcement
That's not true.
to keep you trapped. Every moment of hope was an addictive stimulus.
Big B says, I've never seen Knobs lie. So that would make despite a liar, which also makes a lot of sense. He might not even been an Eagle Scout. He might have been what's below that? A cow scout? A bear scout? I don't know.
Now, just like an addiction, you need to cut
You're just a bear scout.
this cycle definitively to regain your freedom. But how to do that? How to finally break this bond that seems unbreakable?
God, now this is going into Juneteenth, right? We have the black guy, and he's got whips hitting his back, and they're talking about regaining their freedom. We can't get away from it.
Step 1. The total
Obedient says we'll have tryouts. Okay. Yeah, we'll have tryouts. And the surgery tryouts are going to be wild, right? The surgery tryouts are going to be wild because not everyone is going to be great at that.
break. The no contact. If you want to truly heal, You cannot maintain
We're
contact.
having surgery tryouts today.
And that means no messages, no calls, no let's stay friends.
Oh, this is surgery I thought this was the pie eating contest. And he just dunks his face into some guy's brain. Comes up. It's all, this doesn't taste like cherry.
Any contact you have with this person
It's not. It's some guy's brain.
reactivates the emotional conditioning and pulls you back into the spiral of confusion. You might think, but what if he or she changes? What if
Knobsdog says this is literally... Excuse me. This is literally the only place I can be truthful and actually be myself because I don't have to worry about getting fired. LOL. I know. I know. And you probably deserve to be fired. Let's be real and honest. Because you have like so much darkness inside of you, so much vitriol that's just, I'm sure it's from your job too. Are you some sort of insurance adjuster or something? Like something where you like screw over innocent people on a day-to-day basis. And then you can't like complain about that or like do really anything. So you just kind of build it up and then just spew hatred online, which I am not judging you for. This is exactly what I do. I mean, I'm not an insurance adjuster. I just have a lot of hatred that I spew online. You guys know about that part though.
he realizes what he
You
lost?
guys know about that part.
But here's the truth. If this person were capable of changing, they would have already done it. If they truly valued you, they wouldn't have brought you to this point.
Yeah, despite that's mean. That's mean. That was mean. That was uncalled for. He says it was the easiest way to make fun of you both. And then Knobsdog says, that was mean. I was being poignant to John. And, yeah. I feel bad. No, I know you don't. I know
What
you
they
don't.
feel is not regret.
Because you can't feel bad on this show. I mean, like, it doesn't, there's no one, even Pessy says this, no one takes you seriously, John. And I'm all like, why would I want anybody to take me seriously? Do you hear the things I talk about? If people took me seriously, I'd be in jail. I would be in, or at least some sort of hospital. Yeah. Not exactly what I'm shooting for. I'm not like trying to be taken serious. This is a fucking comedy show, for God's sake.
It's fear of losing
I'm trying to tell jokes and literally have a good time myself. So, yeah.
control over you. And maybe you think, but I just want closure. You don't need that.
Background says that looks like an expensive hourglass that bitch just broke. Yeah, but it wasn't her fault because, they shouldn't make it out of glass. Why would they make it out of glass? Oh, God, Susan. Just sit in the corner, please.
Already know everything you need to know. The closure you want is not an answer.
Obedience says, wait, I've already killed for the cult multiple times. This isn't serious? No. That part is serious. No, that is real. I mean, yes. Okay, look. I don't want people to take me seriously when I'm not giving out orders. But when I am giving, you follow those orders.
The last reason to
It's
stay.
just, when I say I don't think people should take me seriously, I'm talking like the FBI and stuff,
So cut it. Cut everything.
I
Block
don't
them on
take
your
him
phone.
seriously. He's just a wacky old, he's just a wacky guy, and he's, no.
Leave social media. Don't accept
I'm heavily armed.
crumbs. And get ready, because when you finally do this, the emotional withdrawal.
Knob says, note to self, stop taking John seriously. Oh, God, not Knob. What will I do with myself now that Knob's dog doesn't take me
Will
seriously?
hit hard.
Oh, exactly what I've been doing for years? Okay.
Step 2. Endure the
Okay.
withdrawal without relapses. In the first few days, you will feel an emptiness.
This is what happens when any of you leave the cult. You will feel empty inside. You will feel empty and alone and scared. Okay? Because I'm sending people after you.
Brain has been conditioned to seek this person
They will burn your village and then recruit you back into the
to
cult.
feel complete. So their absence may seem unbearable.
Big B Trucker says, John, I used up all the lie up. I'll need money to order and get more. I'll have to check our lie budget. But like, you can't figure something else out. Can you use like bleach or something? Or just burn it down? I feel like that, you know, people didn't always have lye. People didn't always have lye. I know it's like fairly simple to make, but like, you know, you can figure out how to get rid of a body without all that lye. Just drag it to the swamp and throw it at a gator and he'll take care of it. That's how we do it down here in the South. This is a time-tested technique.
But this is not longing. This is withdrawal. The problem is that your brain will try to convince you to go back. You will only remember the good moments, forget the suffering, and think, maybe I overreacted.
I really do hope I have this toxic hold on you guys as much as like these women, because I feel like, right, these women have with their boyfriends or husbands or their toxic relationships, right? I want you to be afraid to leave. I want you to, like, you know, think no one will ever love you. I want you to think you don't have a place in this world if it's not by my side. That's my goal.
But that's just your
That's my
addiction
goal.
trying to pull you back.
Background noise says, start a pig farm. Gators get evidence stuck in their teeth. No, they don't. No, they don't. And if I have all these pigs and stuff like that, they're going to be like, what are you doing with all these pigs? I'll be like, I just like pigs. I don't even need to keep gators. I'll just take you to where there's a lot of them, tons of them, and then that's it. That's all of it. You know, I toss you out there and they'll eat you. They will swallow you whole. They'll rip you apart, dude. It's not even going to be an issue. It really won't. Like, sure, I get pigs are scary and they can like eat the bone and like the teeth and everything involved. But like gators will do the job. They will do the job. I promise you.
The best way to get through this phase is to replace the old pattern with a new one. Fill that emptiness with something else.
Hell yeah. Yeah. Wait, is that a sex joke? Is that a sex joke? I'll fill your emptiness.
Get into a routine that keeps you busy.
Getting plowed.
Exercise.
Getting plowed. That's exactly. When a girl breaks up with a guy, she's like, I need to get into a routine that keeps me busy. And that's getting drunk at bars and getting plowed.
Read. Hang out with friends who make you feel good.
Getting plowed.
And above all, don't romanticize the past.
Well, it's pretty tough to do when you're getting plowed by a bunch of randos.
Make a list of everything this person did to hurt you and reread it whenever you feel like...
That's toxic. That's toxic, right? If you make a list of things somebody did to hurt you and then reread it like several times, dude, that's toxic. Just leave it, dude. Leave it in the past. This is bad advice. This is bad advice.
Going back. Step 3. Rebuild your identity. Toxic relationships destroy self-esteem. You've gotten used to seeing yourself through the eyes of the other. You were taught to believe that you are not enough, that you will never be truly loved, that you need to change.
You will never be truly loved without me.
Now it's time to reprogram yourself. You need to ask yourself, who was I before this relationship?
Nobody. You guys were nobody before me.
What did I like? What made me happy? What did I abandon to fit into this relationship?
Big B Trucker says 10 things I hate about you. LOL, that movie sucked. Yeah, that movie sucked. And Heath Ledger died because that movie sucked so bad. I know it was years afterwards. He did like Batman and he did like a really good job. But then, you know, he died. You think there's a conspiracy behind that? You know, Heath Ledger dying and stuff? You think he got killed like that other guy, Trevor Moore?
Recovering means rediscovering yourself. It means finding your voice, your desires, your autonomy again. You don't need a relationship to be whole. This idea was planted in your head by a society that profits from your insecurity. But the truth is that the
Despite what you've heard, says, I liked Julia Stiles. Okay. Okay, bro.
love that truly
I
matters,
like Julia
and the
Stiles.
only
I mean, like, it's so funny because they're like, oh, she's the ugly, nerdy girl, and everyone hates her. And she's all artsy and stuff like that. And you look at her and, like, that bitch has potential. Like, what? Nobody here is that fucking blind, right? It's not like, oh, if she just does her hair and takes off her glasses, then she's beautiful. People know. People know that, right? It's so fucking stupid, that entire trope where it's like, oh, she's actually beautiful. Wow, what a glow up. No, come on, no. No, it's not. Look, ladies, makeup does help. But if you're working with a fucking, like a fucking dime, people know it. People know it. You don't even need makeup, right? If you're a fucking dimer, right, and you're like banging, you're not gonna fly under the radar that long. A lot of bitches want to think this because they all think they're actually beautiful. I don't understand why. I do understand why, because women constantly gas each other up. They're constantly gassing each other up. They're like, oh, you're so beautiful, you deserve better. Oh, no. You don't. You're ugly, and you're fat, and you're like all pimply and shit. And it's not like if you get a makeover, you're going to be beautiful. No, you're going to be a painted hog if you get a makeover. You're still going to be gross, but you're going to have paint on your face. That is different. That's different from the she's all that 10 things I hate about you trope, you know? Because she was attractive and then was moved over to still being attractive, just with more makeup, just more. It's not even she looked better with the glasses on and the overalls. Honestly, she did. Right? I could get down with that. Sure, she looked good with her hair done and like makeup and stuff, but I could get down with the fucking glasses and the fucking spot of paint on her cheek and shit and her weird ass fucking goofy style. I would be into that. I'd be like, oh, she's weird. Maybe she takes it up the butt or something like that. Right? Because that's honestly more attractive to me. Because that means she has low self-esteem, and I am a predator like that. So I would prey on that. I would be like, oh, you're gross, but I'm willing to give you a shot. Yeah, yes. And she would, because she wouldn't know. She would think she's ugly. It's always better to go with a girl who thinks she's ugly than a girl who knows she's hot. And it's worse of all to go with a girl who is ugly but thinks she's hot. That is the worst combination you could possibly get, because not only is she gross, but she also has a fucking attitude about it. She got a fucking attitude about it. Like, are you serious? You're going to have a fucking attitude? You're going to look like that and then have an attitude with me? Really? And then you're just like, I'm more shocked than anything. I'm like, I'm upset because you're being a bitch, but not even. I'm more upset that you're ugly. I could look past you being a bitch. I could look past you being a terrible person, honestly. I can look past a lot. Literal crimes. But not if you're ugly. I have a limit. You know, I'm only human. Right? I don't care if you were a party to the Holocaust, but if you're pretty, it's, the sins can be forgiven. That's just what I'm saying. And if you're a woman out there, don't even tell me you're not the same exact way. Don't even tell me, oh, I like him for his personality. No. You like him for his muscles and his money. That's what it is. That's always what it is.
One that
That's
can
what it
heal
fucking
you
boils down to.
is self-love. And
That's what it
exactly
fucking boils
what we
down
will
to.
talk
I
about
know it.
now. Because leaving a toxic relationship is not the end. It's the beginning of something much greater.
Is it?
And true
Is it,
liberation
though?
only happens when you finally choose yourself.
Despite says, are you mixing She's All That and 10 Things I Hate About You? Am I? Or is it the exact same trope? Is it I could be. Look, aren't they both about a subpar girl then becoming pretty and then everyone never noticed that how pretty she was? Isn't that like most movies in the 90s? Wasn't that most movies in the 90s? Because, okay, let's stick with 10 Things I Hate About You. Right? God, I don't even remember. That's the one where she's like a nerdy chick, right? And she's like an artist, and then she's like gross, but then she turns into like the hot one, the classic swan tail. Yeah. No one's going to be like, I had no idea you're so beautiful. But women like to identify with that because they think they're pretty even when they're not. Even when they're not. A lot of them do. I'm not saying all of them. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying all of them. Because there are legitimate chicks out there. There are legitimate chicks out there that maybe didn't look great going through high school. And like when they hit their early 20s or something like that, they just happen to blossom. And that is the best kind. That is the best kind. Because they didn't grow up pretty, right? When a woman grows up pretty, she's constantly doted over and spoiled by all the men in her life, including daddy, but everybody, the store clerk, right, gives her free stuff. Random men around, you get free sandwiches. They have no idea. This is just the treatment they receive their entire lives. So this is what they think the world is. Right? But if you have a girl that didn't grow up pretty, she'll work for it. That bitch will work for it. Right? That's the one you want. That's the one you want. And her self-esteem is garbage too. You're in. You're in, dude. You're in. Alas, they are few and far between, especially these days. Those chicks are pretty rare. And never meet a girl online, right? Because that Insta baddie that you've been following and she's got a bunch of hot pics, you meet her in real life and she is she's just this isn't a word. I'm going to say FUD. She's a FUD, right? Because I'm trying to like think of a word where it's just like, FUD, thump. Call her thump, right? Where you look at her and it's like you hit a speed bump going too fast and it tore out your suspension, right? That's her visually. You understand? She lowered the value of your car. That's what she looked like. Very disappointing.
There comes a moment
Very disappointing.
when you need to make a decision
More Juneteenth stuff.
to continue destroying yourself in the name of a
Big B Trucker says FUD is definitely understandable. I think FUD is appropriate. It doesn't mean anything, but like FUD. You get what I'm saying. I don't even know why you're getting what I'm saying because that's not a word, right? But it sounds so appropriate to the situation. She's a FUD. FUD. Right? Yuck.
love that was never real, or finally choose yourself. Because in the end, it doesn't matter what the other person feels. It doesn't matter what they promised. It doesn't matter how many times they said.
Knobs Dog says, my wife is way hotter now in her 40s than she was when I met her. Well, congratulations. That does happen. I'm not going to say that doesn't happen. I mean, it is different. It's a different kind of hotness. I'm not saying it's less valuable or desirable, but I mean, it really depends on what you consider value. Like fecundity is value, but I mean, you know, I'm saying that great. I'm happy for you, Knob. Good for you. I'm happy. That doesn't happen to everybody. So congratulate yourself and be happy that you lucked out in that situation. Good for you, man.
They would change. Oh. What really?
No, not Elmer Fudd. Not Elmer Fudd. Just Fudd. You know? Just not Elmer Fudd. Fudd. Like that. I can't explain it any better than that.
Matters is what you accept for your life. And maybe at that
Knob's dog says she's literally in better shape, dresses better, and makes more money. Okay, that's great. However, I find chicks that make money not attractive. I don't that might just be a me thing, but I don't let Jess make money. I have the money. Money is my situation. You make babies, I make money. So, you know, you do you, but I just don't. Again, that is a personal preference. I don't know.
You still feel doubt. Maybe that voice inside you is still saying, but what if it's different? What?
Knob's dog says she's way better at what she does than I am. Yeah, I believe that 100%.
If I'm exaggerating.
You don't have to tell me that twice.
What if I never find someone else?
You, dude.
That voice is not yours. That voice was implanted over time, reinforced by every crumb of affection you...
Despite what you said, a FUD is a gun boomer. I've seen that online. I've seen like FUD busters and stuff like that. And boomers always think their guns are worth way more than they are. Like, come on. You're not going to charge me $90,000 for an M4. You're not getting that. You're not getting that. Okay? So, no. Yeah. I mean, it's fine that you have guns and you're a boomer. Those two things aren't like bad together. It's the delusion that upsets people.
Were made to accept by every cycle of manipulation that destroyed your self-confidence. By every time you put your own well-being second to please someone who never truly cared about you. But now you know. Now you...
Knob says, I'm good at what I do, I just don't care. She passionately cares about what the people she manages in her departments. Oh, boy. What does she do? What do you do?
See, now you have a choice. And I need to be direct with you. No one is going to save you. No answer will come out of nowhere. No divine revelation will free you from this cycle. Either you make this decision, or you keep repeating this pattern until there is nothing left of you. Because that is the fate of those who remain in a toxic relationship.
Big B Trucker says, I've heard FUD years ago. It means dumpy. So it actually is a term? I didn't just make that up. That's weird. Do you guys know what synesthesia is? Synesthesia is a cross-wiring in the brain that people... It's where senses in your brain cross. So if you think of a number, let's say, then you might taste a certain flavor. Or if you see a sight, you might... It's like hearing the color yellow and stuff. It's actually a real phenomenon that happens in people's brains. It's actually fairly common too. But a lot of people think the start of language was from these people. They're called synesthetes, where they would make shapes with their mouth to describe a sense with their eyes. It's basically how language came about is through this cross wiring of senses in people's brains. And so me saying FUD and not being able to understand, but it's appropriate. FUD, right? It's a FUD. It's so funny that it's actually a term because it's just so appropriate. That could be what's happening. Anyways, everybody, thank you so much for coming tonight and being here. Thank you guys for being here on this show. I very much appreciate it. I very much appreciate you, and thank you so much for the donations, those who did donate. If you would be so kind as to leave a like on your way out, I would very much appreciate that. I hope you guys enjoyed tonight. I hope you guys get out there and make the best of your lives and make me proud and work on surgery, work on the jizz mopping, work on recruitment, and we'll all meet up for tryouts in the spring. So, yeah. Anyways, guys, I'll be here tomorrow night and on day wave tomorrow morning. And so until then, I hope you guys have an excellent night. Drink lots of water, get a good night's sleep, and take care of yourselves because I care about you too. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Love you so much. Good night.
I'm an incredible soul, unhinged and enraged like a bulldog's fierce growl. I'm spitting fire, burning through these trees, questioning the world, unraveling conspiracies. Talking about Bigfoot, but I guess monster too. Government lies.